Hello everybody, my name is Mallory Ives. Today we're going to break down how muscle and fat develop in livestock, why body condition score matters, and how different fat types form throughout an animal's life. So let's get started. Before the animal is even born, livestock are born with a fixed number of muscle fibers. This means that the mother's nutrition, genetics, breed, and even sex of the calf determine the animal's lifetime muscle growth potential. If the cow is underfed or stressed during pregnancy, the fetus may develop fewer fibers, which limits how much muscle that animal can build later and influences its future body condition score, or a BCS, and we will talk about that later. A strong prenatal environment sets the foundation for a healthy BCS throughout the animal's life. Animals that start with more muscle fibers are naturally better at maintaining muscle mass, staying in a healthy weight range, and avoiding becoming too thin during growth, lactation, or periods of stress. On the other hand, animals with fewer fibers may struggle to keep condition, dropping to lower BCS values or even when fed. Postnatally, which means after birth, muscle development works differently. Animals cannot add fibers. They can only enlarge the fibers they already have. This process, called hypertrophy, depends heavily on the animal's diet, especially protein and energy intake. Hormones, exercise, and in some production settings, growth promotants all help support good, healthy muscle gain. Good muscle development contributes directly to maintaining an ideal body condition score throughout the animal's life. Next is fat deposition. Fat develops in a very specific order, and each type of fat has a different role in meat production. Understanding this order helps producers avoid waste fat while still improving quality. So let's get into the four different types of fats. The first fat to form is visceral fat. This includes kidney, pelvic, and heart fat. It's the earliest fat to deposit and makes up about 13% of the total fat in a beef carcass. The second fat is subcutaneous fat. This fat or back fat develops in three layers. The outer layer, which is the first that forms out of the three, the middle layer, which is the thickest, and the inner layer, which is the thinnest. Subcutaneous fat accounts for about 30% of carcass fat and plays a huge role in insulation and body condition scoring. The third fat is going to be intermuscular fat, also known as seam fat. This fat sits between muscle groups and is the largest portion, making up around 42% of the total carcass. The final fat is going to be intermuscular fat, or what we also call marbling. The final fat to develop is intermuscular fat, or like I said, marbling. This forms last, often right before slaughter, and contributes to about 15% of the total carcass fat. Marbling is extremely important because it improves tenderness, juiciness, and flavor. Factors influencing fat, diet, genetics, hormones, and stress all influence how much muscle or fat an animal develops. High energy diets encourage fat accumulation. Insulin slows fat breakdown, and stress increases fat loss. These factors directly affect whether an animal becomes too thin or fat. Good livestock management means balancing nutrition, controlling stress, selecting strong genetics, and using body condition scores to guide decisions. Pregnant animals need proper nutrients for fetal muscle development. Growing animals need the right protein to energy ratio and low stress handling that will support both muscle and growth and fat balance.